guys, welcome back to the Motorhead YouTube channel. As you know, we are waiting for our heads from the machine shop. They should be done tomorrow morning, and then we can go ahead and start putting that together. So for now, we actually want to go ahead and work on the cab. We want to buff it out, so we're going to start by cutting it all down with a 1000, and then we'll jump up to a 1500 and then a 3000. So let's go ahead and head over to O'Reilly's and get us some sandpaper. Alright, so we're actually ready to start cutting down into this clear coat. So we're starting with the 1000. All right, now that we've got everything wet sanded, we're going to go ahead and start cutting and buffing. We're going to use a wool pad on a cordless Milwaukee grinder and some of this Ardex 1000 plus rubbing compound. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so we got our cab all nice and clean. It's looking amazing. We got all the clear nice and flat. All that's left to do is to go over it with a hand polish with some polish and microfiber cloth. That's gonna get all the swirl marks out of it. So now, what do you think, Gary? Are those heads ready?
We can go check it out, see if they're done. He said, when was it, yesterday?
Yeah, he said.
Yesterday he said they should be done today, so let's go over there and check it out.
Yeah, so Vlad's gonna go ahead and finish up on this cab, and me and Yuri are gonna go check them out and see if they're done.
Yeah. Everything checks out?
Yeah.
Good?
Everything checked good. He cleaned them, pressure tested them, make sure there's no cracks, no leaks. And when we tested the valves, make sure all the valves are sealed good and non-leaking. So checked out good.
That's good to hear.
Funny, most of the time these 6.0 heads, I don't have a whole lot of problems with them. I mean, I see a lot of them from head gasket failures or whatnot, but usually the castings are good.
Yeah, this one actually had a head gasket job done before we did this, but you can tell it was already burned through.
Yeah. Was it, had they studded it or was it still?
No, it was just stop bolts, but we got studs for it. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, my truck had, it's got 315,000 on it. It finally gave up a head about 5,000 miles ago.
Oh, really?
From the factory head bolt.
Wow.
Looking nice and fresh.
Yeah, they look real good. Everything checks out, so let's go slap them back on. All right, so we got our heads back from the machine shop. Kenny did an amazing job. They look really good. Everything checks out. We're happy about that. Now we're going to put these rocker boxes back on, but before we do that, we want to replace this seal right here and also pressure wash them to make them, you know, look a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this wiring harness off for the glow plugs, and we're gonna crank up the power washer and get them nice and clean. And this glow plug wire harness actually looks like it's been replaced. Most likely they did it when they did the head gasket before. So that's actually a pretty good thing, because these things do take a lot of stress from the starting. So we don't have to replace them. That's good. But we do have to replace the glow plugs because they look like they've been overheated. Not necessarily maybe overheated, but like the tips are really rough. Like you can see where the metal started degrading already. So that's not a big deal. We'll get some new ones.
Better do it now than later.
Yeah, we call them while you're in there mods.
Here comes the hard right, so what's next, Yuri?
Honestly, I don't even know. Taking everything apart was a lot easier than putting everything back.
Hey, at least you got everything sorted out nicely.
Yeah, you see how organized we are here? We've got bolts and and stuff. There's little, I mean, tidbits. These plastics right here, one of our machine guys did break one, and then another guy broke one right when we got back to the shop.
And he may or may not be behind the camera. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, he's lucky because I would have thrown one of these at him, but I don't want to ruin the recording device. No, Vlad's actually printing up some diagrams and details on how to properly assemble this, because obviously we've never put one of these together, so we're gonna need that. And then
and
we did get the gasket on the rocker box, so that's ready. I just don't know how to bolt it. I know you can't just bolt it all back together, so once he gets that printed up, we're gonna be rolling right along. But everything's going pretty smooth.
Yes, sir. They're looking nice.
Yeah.
The
Almost
heads
as nice.
are all repainted.
They're almost as nice as that McLaren over there.
Yeah. Check it out. V-Tune got his motor in. When's she gonna start, Ben?
A week? Y'all hear that? A week? You better hold them to it. We're all waiting for that thing to roar to life.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
This truck better not start before that car. It's gonna be a problem.
I guess we'll see.
He said a week. The man said a week. All right, so we're ready to put the heads back on, but before we do that, we want to make sure that this, the deck on this block is good. So we're gonna run down to Ace Hardware and see if we can get us a nice bar file and run it over that lightly, just to make sure that everything's nice and flat.
This thing needs an exhaust, bro.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Comment down below, guys, if you'd like to see us put an exhaust on this thing. I think it sounds sick.
All right, so we got our bar file. And what we're going to do with this is just go over the top of the block, just very lightly, just to make sure that everything's nice and flat. And it'll also clean off some of this residue that's left over from the old head gasket. All right, so we've got our head on the motor, and we're installing the rockers on with the rocker boxes. We're going to go ahead and torque these 10 millimeter bolts down, and then once these are torqued down, we're going to put some thread locker on these nuts and torque them down to spec.
All right, and you know the torque specs for that?
This right here, this one should just be cross-threaded, and these right here, it's okay if you over tighten them, because if they break, you can just take off the valve cover and replace them, so it's no big deal.
Nice.
You do work here, right?
Sometimes when they let me wear the shirt.
We actually had to get some gasket maker because we ran out, or thread locker.
You think this will fix the head gasket?
Sure.
I'm
If you
serious,
apply,
man.
if you apply it, right?
Yeah? Because we got a little crack in it. We just want to...
Ooh, you got some crack in it? Take it out. You need 5 foot instead. How many 5 cents?
The nut, doing the nut job. Start from over here because these are the ones that are sticking up the most.
All right, so we're gonna start off with 23 pounds. And then once we're done with that, we can go 170 pounds from the inside out. All right, so we ran into a little issue here. This torque wrench actually only goes to 80 pounds and we need 170. So we don't have a socket for this one right here. This is the 1/2 inch drive, so it's bigger. And we do need the 12 point and we can't find one and we can't get one at this time. So what we're gonna do is actually sacrifice this 3/8 that we don't need. And this is a good one, but we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna need to weld these two together like this so we can use it on that other torque wrench. All right, so we have our torque bolt. We actually calculated the welds, and this is 190 foot-pounds of weld, so we should be good.
Not gonna lie, it's my first time having to cook that. Dude, the thing is...
All right, so one of our heads is torqued down, it's good to go. We're actually assembling the fuel rail now. What needs to be done to it before it can go in here?
All right, so we've got these standpipes right here that we are replacing because I guess they go out. But we've got to get this off right here and get the pieces the piece that's inside there out. Because I'm guessing that's what's going on right there. So,
Holy.
it's okay, we got Super King.
Yeah.
Give me the new one, Wet. Did you see how this seal right here failed? Look. You see that?
Yup.
That's a failure.
That's why we're replacing it. This thing's gonna be nice, man. Everything's good.
Yeah, that seal failed completely. That's what failed on your truck, lad.
Really?
Yeah, you wanna know how I know?
Oh, you didn't replace it?
No, not just that. You know what else?
What?
You remember how that truck, when it would warm up, it lost power completely?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what this truck did. I just never told nobody.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Really?
This truck had the exact same issue that the other one had.
Oh, maybe
Yep.
that's why they abandoned it.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, heck,
Yeah.
why else would they just get rid of that truck?
It's a really nice truck.
You did, you dummy.
Where are the dummy plugs? Is that metal?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our rail is ready to go back in. First step is these injectors. We got some, what are these, remanufactured, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just remans. Excuse me, sir. So we're gonna pop these in before we put that high pressure.
Go ahead and grab one. Check that out, guys. We got the injectors in. Everything's looking good. We went ahead and torqued everything in spec. Now we're gonna get this high pressure fuel rail in. Yuri's cleaning up the mess with our super clean. And Vlad's getting the valve cover cleaned. Just putting some super clean degreaser on it.
The folding grease, good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get everything looking nice and clean. That way when it all goes back together, it's all super fresh.
What a beauty.
Okay, so we are now ready for our valve cover, but before we put it on, we actually want to give it a fresh paint job. We figured red would be nice and match the truck because they were looking a little rough. So we went ahead and sanded them down. Now they're gonna look nice. so our heads are finally on, and I was really dreading this because I thought it was gonna be hard to do, but it actually went pretty smoothly. You know, I just watched Yuri do that side, and then it was pretty easy to assemble this head after I watched how he did it. But if you enjoyed, guys, stay tuned, because once all these aftermarket parts go on here, it's gonna look amazing. We got nice headers. Our cold air intake actually came in. We haven't showed it to y'all yet. We're thinking of repainting this to match the cab. What do you guys think? Comment down below. But that is gonna be it for this video, guys. If you don't, be sure to follow us on Instagram at motorhead.co. And if you enjoy the content, be sure to smash that subscribe button. If you don't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram at motorhead.co. And comment down below what you think of the build. I'm really happy with the progress. Everything's going great. We're almost actually ready to drop the cab back on. That'll be in the next episode, so stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.